to it. It's not saying he did. It's not saying he didn't.
He
just
already
doesn't
agreed
touch
with
it.
that even.
I mean, honestly, like his entire argument was pedantic and ridiculous. I mean, first it was all based on like a straw man of claiming scientism or some stupid shit, and it's like no one in that.
Did he claim that?
Yeah,
Yes, he claims that. Yeah.
Yeah, he claimed that before and after the discussion. It's like, dude, no one in the room ever claimed that. You start off with that premise and then you straw man your fucking like the people you're commenting with. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess we're
curious.
gonna wait on Torre because he isn't in here yet. So for those of you who are just joining us, let me just tell us what we're talking about real quick, if I may. What we're talking about is a carryover from Matt Bell's talking to Joe and a few other people in EMK's room, where Matt Bell's running the same silly little argument that he's always run about natural selection. He's been refuted ad nauseum, and it's gotten to the point where I don't know why anybody would even continue with him. Joe is the best person in that room to have talked to him on this, and yet he seemed to kind of getting talked over and shut down. So I'm just going to turn this real quick over to Joe. Do you want to explain what Matt's argument kind of is with natural selection and why it's complete crap and why he doesn't understand what natural means in natural selection?
He's saying that it's predicated on methodological naturalism, and that's obviously indicated in the name natural selection. He's also saying that evolution affirms that humans didn't have to necessarily arise through evolution. But the latter thing, I think he agreed with me, but he got, like, this is what happens, guys. Let me explain his strategy first. He says something, everyone gets outraged, and they all shotgun questions at him or arguments at him, and he'll pick the weakest one. He picks the weakest one that he can take on, and that's it. And so that's what happens when he says this stuff. Like, I got him to say that if it's necessary, that's something that you only talk about in theology or philosophy. What else did I got him to narrow it down to not just theism, to actually Christian theism, but then I couldn't say anything. But he's saying that natural selection is predicated on methodological naturalism, and so it denies any supernatural, which is, that's not how it works, and that's not how, he wouldn't answer my question when I said, look, it's a selective process. If there is something supernatural that's a part of the selective process, why would science just throw their hands up and go, nope, can't do that?
That would be ridiculous, right?
Well, so that's the thing, is that it's not that it doesn't look for, it doesn't look for supernatural processes, though.
Well, what
right?
it is Joe's exactly correct. What Matt is doing is he's making these distinction between natural and supernatural, like natural and artificial. Okay?
No, I don't even think he's doing that, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly what he's doing. He's absolutely doing that. And he doesn't seem to understand, even if there's supernatural causation or directed process or anything like that, it's still natural selection because it's not artificial, like breeding. Now,
that's what the contrast was.
That's what the contrast was. Now, a better argument, Joe, hear me out on this one, because I was thinking about this the other day. Mm-hmm. Could somebody make the argument from a third-party position, not a human position, saying that because we are artificially selecting for certain things, such in the cases of dogs and breeds, we are a species like any other species, right? We're just not doing it through predator-prey models. We're just doing it through technology. Could the third party say, you know what, that's still natural selection because we are a species doing the selecting? That's a more interesting argument, I think.
Selection for ourselves?
Well, we're a species like anything else. We're no different than any other species, right? We just have to have technology at our disposal, right?
Well, like the difference is that culture is like a significant part of the way that we, especially more recent humans, Homo sapiens, evolved, and so that's just another way that we're interacting with the environment, right?
Right. Sure.
Well, technology too. The fact that we can fix our teeth and wear glasses and stuff like that, right? We're not selecting out things that might have been selected out in the past.
Right, but we're still a species doing that, right? We just happen to have the technology. But to a third-party species, they're going to look. Can they just say, you know what? it's still natural selection. Humans are naturally selecting by their own, instead of being a predator-prey, they're using technology. We consider it artificial because we're having the elimination between artificial and natural because we are artificially doing this rather than nature. But we are part of nature like anybody else, aren't we not?
If we start genetically engineering new species, is that evolution? That's what you're saying?
Well, no, it's artificial evolution. It's still evolution. No, what I'm saying is,
isn't that what you're talking about, though?
Species, right? And because things are die off because of like predators, right? And the lesser suited to their environment organisms will die, or populations will die out. But since we are a very intelligent organism, and one of our things because of evolution is we have the ability to have technology, we have intelligence given us technology. Would another race say, you know what? We're just the same as natural selection. There is no such thing as artificial selection to them, because we're just using what we have by gifts of evolution and the intelligence level we have to change the course of things. But we're natural, right? Do you kind of see what I'm saying on it? Or is that kind of a weird arbitrary distinction between natural and
right? And the example I gave with genetically engineering using our technology, that's part of natural too.
That would be what you're saying. Yeah, so third party, right? To an alien race, you know, that's completely different from what we are. They might just say, you know, humans are just like any other species. They're just using, you know, science and stuff else to have what they would perceive to be natural selection, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the weird thing is, just going back to the whole Matt Bell thing, he was almost going to bring up fine tuning. You recall that, don't you, Joe?
No, I brought it up because the whole point of fine tuning arguments are used by theists, but fine tuning arguments just say embodied moral agents. They don't say human beings. So even on fine tuning arguments, human beings arising isn't necessary. It's just embodied moral agents. And I was going to go further because then he said Christianity. It's Christianity that's a red herring. And so I was going to go further, but, you know, Xbox really had a point to make.
I don't think
so. And so, you know, like I was really hesitant to ask if there was something to do with his belief, like his theist belief, his belief in Christianity that was leading him in this direction, right? And of course, he denied it, and then it came out later that it was. But so it's interesting because I'm doing a little bit of research on this, and this extended evolutionary synthesis, this idea, right, was funded by the Templeton Foundation. And like when you look online, it comes up in like tons of these sort of ID-friendly websites. Like they're really embracing this stuff.
Can I make a mention about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Matt wants in.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna have room for him. And I don't need to deal with a contrarian tonight. Sorry, Matt. Not tonight, buddy. You had your fill in the other room. I want this discussion to go in a different direction. But anyways, what you're talking about with the Templeton and all that, and I knew that's what he was going to cite. He's already been explained to this. What it is there are some movements out there to form what's called the extended modern synthesis, right? And the extended synthesis is going to use things like epigenetics and evo-devo, environmental development, okay? And what he doesn't realize is we've already incorporated those things into the modern synthesis to some degree, right? Because it's a new, epigenetics is a really kind of a new emerging thing. It's been around for a while, but our understanding of it is just now coming to fruition, right? We're still now just getting understanding what happens with DNA methylation and histone modification. So some biologists out there have suggested, you know what, we do need a newer model, you know, beyond the modern evolutionary synthesis, and we call that extended synthesis. And there's nothing wrong with that. What Matt doesn't realize, though, it doesn't negate everything that came before it, right? It's not a huge paradigm shift, okay? If you guys, he's familiar with philosophy of science. You guys remember a guy named Thomas Kuhn?
Yeah.
Thomas Kuhn he predicted how things will have paradigm shifts in science, and how it starts off basically little things start creeping up, and most of the time there's a scientific bias against it, and scientists will start kind of pushing against it because they want to maintain the status quo, right? And I get that. And that's what he's kind of thinking what's happening. And in a way, he kind of has a point with that. But he doesn't seem to understand that even with the extended evolutionary synthesis, it doesn't negate anything before. It's not a huge paradigm shift like he's making it out to be. It's just a way to differentiate between modern biology that includes epigenetics and environmental development by like the modern evolutionary synthesis. That's it. That's it.
I agree, and I don't know if they're quote mines, but I have found some of the proponents of it have said things to the effect that it will uproot modern evolutionary theory. Like and maybe that's quote mining. I don't know. I can't get to some of the actual articles. I'm just reading, like I'm reading articles of papers, right? So I don't really know, but definitely there are a lot of ID-ish proponents. Like I don't know if you've heard of the third way. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So I mean, like, so I've had a lot of anti-evolutionists, you know, like quoting things like the third way and stuff, trying to bring science to their disbelief, right? And I don't know, like I'm seeing a lot more of that lately, rather than just flat out denying evolution. I'm seeing a lot of, well, there's some science to say it's not quite right, and
Tommy Hall likes the third way thing.
We got full before Tower could join.
Hang on,
I'm actually leaving. I wasn't going to stay.
I'm sending the link right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay. I just wanted to come in and yeah, but yeah, I'll listen now for a little bit.
Oh, fine.
So I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Tower, get in here. I sent you the link in 5 different ways. But
Steve,
brother.
Hey,
brother. What's up, Rev? How are you, my friend?
You're
in my room for a change. I'm so happy.
What's up, man? What's up? Yeah, I don't think Tower speaks on mic, so.
He said he didn't say he didn't have a mic. He's coming in.
Hey, Rev.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'd love to see him. Yeah. What's up,
I don't
Anna?
know anything about him. Do you? I mean, I've talked to him in the side chat at VMKs, but.
Well, I know about him because he had a soundboard of me screaming. So I know about him. He comes into Hangouts and just blasts soundboards of me screaming. So, but he's cool. He's a good guy.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get him in here. I mean, he wants to talk about.
Please do not do that tonight.
And Jade wants to join too. So
I won't, fan.
No, not you. Him.
Oh, okay, fan.
I hate the soundboard users. They drive me nuts.
I like the soundboards. Jade, I'll get the link out after Tower gets in here.
No, I like the soundboards. I don't like them as conversation.
Tower, is he? I don't know why people have a hard time finding links. I mean, it's strange. I mean, I sent him a link on the G+. I sent him a link on instant message.
Isn't it also in your YouTube description?
Yeah, I mean, well, well, no, I didn't put because I have snipers. Matter of fact, let me touch on that while we're waiting for Tower Torre. I was invited to hang out with Hunter Bailey, and it was Vincent's hangout, and Brojo was in there, and and I was polite. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I can't be in here because Brojo is a sniper, and I have a rule. I don't be on on-air hangouts with snipers. And they eventually kicked him out, right? I mean, he was causing a problem. They kicked him out. He came back in on another account. He has at least 5 or 6 different accounts now he's using. And he started being a problem. And because they're like, well, we're not going to kick him out because he's our brother and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That's on Vincent's hangout, right?
Yeah, but he's a sniper, and I'm like, I just can't be a sniper. And then Christian Anarchist said, he left. He got kicked out, and so I come back in. So I came back in, and sure enough, he just got another account and came back in. So all he's doing is making new accounts so he can get hangouts. And I'm not telling anybody who they can and cannot have in their hangout. That's not my position. I'm just giving you advance warning. If you have a sniper in there, people that have sniped, most people are not going to join your hangout. I know Wolf won't. I know I won't. I doubt Hannah will, depending on the person. I mean, we just don't tolerate sniping, and these people are very unrepentant of it.
Yeah, Steve, I just tagged Tower in a post with the direct link to the hangout, so
okay.
Hopefully he'll come in.
Thanks, Rev.
Thank you, buddy.
No problem.
I sent you a mail a while back. I asked if you got it, but if you get a chance, check your mail. Rev.
Will do.
Let's see here. Come on, Tower. Where else am I going to send this? But anyways, back to the sniper things. You know, one of the punishments of these people is that they were banned from the community for a reason. They were banned from getting into hangouts to show that sniping is not okay, because we still have people sniping today. Obviously, I am Outbound is a sniper, Don's Corner is a sniper. We don't tolerate that. And I think that there needs to be some kind of
accountability.
Yeah, I was being blind. My ears were being bled. Sorry. There's some kind of accountability and justice that these people just won't be able to get into hangouts anymore. And Brojo has not learned that yet. So I'm just letting you guys know I won't be in an all-neighbor hangout with him. I recommend you guys don't either. He's very unrepentant about it. He's like, oh, I apologize. He did not. Let me tell you what he said. He actually said, Steve, I can't apologize for preaching into your hangout because that's God's word, and God's word more important than anything else. And I'm like, no, I like you make all Christians bad by doing that. You took over my. It's very messed up. I was like, you know, if you want to preach, you're allowed to do so. I'll let somebody come in here and read scriptures if they want to. I have no problem with that if it's, you know, something, you know, real quick and they just want to say something. That's fine, right? If you want to give your testimony, Rev, by all means, right? But to take over a hangout by kicking out everybody, and then just to preach the word of God,
massively fucked up, man. Yeah, you guys know your name here, right, Bob?
Yeah, of course.
He's sniped too.
Well, I know what happened on that. That was a completely different story. What happened with that was he was in a hangout where I guess the mods weren't available or something, and DD.
Right. No, totally. I get that.
And he invited them back
Steve.
in. He did snipe them because he didn't have ejection power. Then he invited them back.
Yeah, but he has admitted that he is unrepentant of that, right?
And
he doesn't regret doing that.
I don't think he should be sorry about that. What he did.
Wow. Some snipers are okay to do that.
Rev.
Some snipers are okay to do that then.
There's a difference. It's not the action itself of sniping per se, right? We have to differentiate between the act of sniping, which is basically the ejection of somebody without mod control. I wouldn't have done what he did. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I'm not going to say that I would have done what Bob did, but I do understand that there's reasons for that, and it's a little bit more justifiable than just coming in to wreck a hangout, right? So when I say sniping, I'm really referring to the people that come in purposefully just to snipe people to get them out of the hangout to wreck the hangout, right? So there are different degrees, just like the different degrees of wrongness. You know, Isaac Asimov's degree of wrongness. There's different degrees of everything. So I can't just throw everything into a bucket and say, okay, they're all the same type of snipers. So, you know.
All right. So how would you feel about what Godless Girl did to Wolf's hangout? I would call that fucked up. You know,
yeah, and you know, did you watch my hangout where I had a 3-hour hangout? Where we had Steve's court, where we evaluated her what happened on that, and I forgave her for it. Wolf forgave her for it. You know, she was repentant of it. So we addressed it for like 3 hours in a hangout one time. You know, so I mean, each case, everything's a case by case difference. You know,
it's all good.
Brojo's not. You know, if he would have afterwards said something along the lines, you know what, that was really messed up. I really, really am sorry. I should have never done that. I think I would have been like, okay, you know.
What did you excuse of the lady?
Steve, Tower says check your Google PMs.
I'm checking right now. He says, got it, Steve. I have to decline. I'm turning over a new leaf. My humble apologies. What does that mean?
Somehow I knew that was going to happen.
What does that mean?
You have to read it again. I didn't understand you.
He says, got it, thanks. Steve, I have to decline. I'm turning over a new leaf. My humble apologies. I have
also claimed in the YouTube chat that Tower says never used a sound board in a hangout.
Steve will tell you the news. Stop interrupting. I like using the soundboard, but the problem is I have to use a mixer to use it, and sometimes it goes nuts, and it produces this weird cycle effect. And so
you there, right?
But I like the DD soundboard. I think it's great.
You there, right? It's good.
The DD soundboard?
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Nice.
I still say there are a few sounds that need to be on it, though.
Yeah,
it needs revision.
Yeah,
it needs revision.
I tell you what, it's still amazing.
There have been some good sound bites lately.
Fucking liar.
Fucking liar.
Liar. You're being a fucking fucking asshole as usual.
Well, I tell you what, I was listening to Darwin's Deity go after Hogtie in Antonio Fletcher's hangout earlier today. And I have never seen a more dishonest approach to a dialectic in my life than Darwin's.
I'm a patient person.
It was obscene that the way they were treating Hogtie, and what was weirdest part was G-Man and Beckel and Antonio didn't even understand what Darwin was asking. Darwin didn't understand what Darwin was asking, and Hogtie was just trying to clarify what Darwin was asking. And of course, all this was just Hogtie being, an obstructionist, saying, "Oh, you're just avoiding the question," and "Oh, look, you got to run away," even though he had specifically said he has to be gone by 3 o'clock to pick up his kids. They're just making Hogtie out to be, some kind of like person just wants to come in and hang out and disrupt him, and it's just absurd the amount of rhetoric these guys have. It's mind-boggling that they're going, "Oh well, this is what Hogtie always does." Fuck that. I mean, Hogtie's one of the most respectful people in the community, and the fact that Darwin's Deity can't form a coherent sentence or get his point across because he's trying to use weasel words and try to bash everybody against their heads against philosophy. Uniformity of nature.
No, I think it's pronounced
The uniformity of nature.
Yeah, sorry.
By one of the most respectable people in the community, do you mean dishonest?
Yeah, but the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Hogtie is a dishonest contrarian, right?
Well, yeah, and so when there's no other recourse, somebody like him resorts to character assassination, right?
Okay, good.
Smearing.
Okay, good.
All right. Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
So it's obvious that we have a bunch of trolls in here. So
Ejection, moderator, please. Moderator.
Yeah, moderator, please.
And it's funny. What Darwin doesn't seem to realize, and he never will, is that even if Darwin's had a legitimate point to make on something, which he never does, it's how he comes across in the interlocutory, right? If two people have the same information they want to present, I'm more willing to listen to one that can actually have a nice articulate conversation, right? Something that I enjoy talking to, rather than somebody else who just wants to either argue just for the sake of arguing, like Matt Bell, or that just never gets to an actual point. So when people say, "Steve, why do you avoid certain people?" I'm not avoiding them. I just don't want to talk to them. I don't engage with pillboxing, at all anymore. I don't engage with.
Well, flat out being honest, that would be you avoiding him. You're avoiding him for being an asshole.
That's fine. I guess semantically, sure. I mean, avoidance to me would be like I go out of my way not to be in the same feed with them or same hangout, right? That would be avoiding. But that's just because I don't engage with them doesn't necessarily mean I'm avoiding them. But why would I engage with somebody that I know just cannot carry on conversation? Like MG, is a complete waste of time. And so when they say, "Oh, well, you guys can't handle the truth," like Matt's always like, "Oh, well, let me know when you want to get a real challenge." It has nothing to do with that. It's just that how they present themselves, right? I like real challenges. People here all the time. They give us real challenges, right? Rumpus and Fiona. We all don't agree on stuff. They give us real challenges, but it's how they present the argument.
A hangout about a month or so ago with Hogtie and Arcane. And Arcane, one of his goals is to get people so upset that and he feels like when he does get people upset, that he's struck a nerve. He's pushing their cognitive dissonance, and Hogtie's or you're being an asshole.
What are you, mad, monkey boy? Oh.
I cannot tell how pissed off I am right now.
Was that an Arcane logo soundboard?
Still Darwin's.
I thought there was something about Monkey Boy. I thought it was Arcane.
No, that was Tom.
Oh, that sounded just like Arcane. Yeah, I thought it was a soundboard. Yeah, Tom's got the voices down. Can you do throwing monkey poo?
I don't know.
He started laughing. He needs about 3 doobies.
This is precisely why some people get put on my troll list.
No, people get put on his troll list because he doesn't want to actually engage with people that are.
Okay, all right, Steve. It's obvious we have trolls in here that are playing soundboards of me, so we need to move on here. Okay, all right. Okay, good. Is this good?
EMK.
MK, please.
He does like a gift that never keeps on giving. He's like herpes.
Helena was saying. Helena made a comment about MK, please, being the standout favorite that seems to be adopted by the community so far. And that's the one. That's the real hit, right?
MK, please. And you know what's funny is I'm glad that people like Rev here understand that, especially in my room, we never bash Christianity. We're not talking about people's faith. We're just making fun of some of the things that people actually say and do. That's all we do sometimes in here. Occasionally we talk about science. But, I mean, we're never sitting here bashing on people's faith, and we're not attacking Darwin's deity because of his faith. We're talking about the fact that he says some stupid shit.
No, I get that, Steve. I totally get that. And his method of what he's doing around here, I've confronted him many a time on this. I think it's very ineffective and stupid. You
think it has the opposite effect?
Absolutely, Steve. Yeah. He won't engage people like Jack Anstrike. Why? Why won't he do that? Well, that's for others to assess.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious.
I guess I got trolled by Torre Tower. So I'm going to change the name of this hangout at some point, Tower Torre, because he did troll me. Psychopath pointed out, I could have told you that Stevie never joins hangs. He only trolls in the live chat. Well, I'm glad to know that now. So thank you.
This is why these rooms, when they're not properly moderated, we have adults who act like children.
That being the single most immature individual I've ever been in a hangout with.
Yeah, the irony is so heavy with that man.
And he says, well, he's not aware of his own behavior, right? And when you're getting it from both sides, when both atheists and theists are telling you the way you're going about this, your methodology is wrong, you should stop and pause and listen. I mean, it's bad enough you have one group going against you, right? But when you have like everybody in the community, that should tell him something. He needs a wake-up call, right? Because it's no longer about
the fact that he has his ball lickers.
What's that, man?
He has his ball lickers.
Oh, of course. Antonio is a taint licker from hell with him.
So far.
Even K kind of comes down on him a little bit more than he used to. But
it's cyclical with MK.
Yeah, that's true. But Antonio,
Spoken and Brojo are just all over that.
Yeah, Brojo is the latest. Like no, Spoken is the latest butt licker in that range.
They're all over that taint.
Well, I will give Antonio one thing. I mean, he did stand up for Hogtie and said, "Hey, look, I don't think Hogtie is like being dishonest, and I don't think he's like running away because he has to go. His kids need to be picked up, and because Hogtie was saying, well, as soon as I leave, you guys are going to talk about me anyway, saying how much I ran away and I didn't answer questions. And yet, you notice every time Darwin's asked me something, I was quick to give him a reply. It just wasn't a reply he liked, and that was true. If you watched the video, that's exactly what happened. And Darwin's just like, oh, he doesn't answer my questions. And it's like, well, his questions are so freaking vague. And you have to spend about 10 minutes just to get through the crap in his questions just to understand what he's trying to get at. I don't know why he uses such vernacular that could be construed so many different ways unless you're trying to really try to confuse people.
Right.
His goal isn't conversation. His goal is ponage.
Well, right. Control and whatever goes along with that. And how many times have you seen him abuse other Christians?
A lot. He does. I've seen it.
Right. I mean, it's a specific number isn't required, but several times. And then, only to have them come back to his side to be abused again. And eventually some people get sick of that and give up on him. But others, it takes a lot longer, and it's kind of sick, actually. People keep coming back for more abuse.
Theologically speaking, I do agree with the guy 100%. But his method, the way that he tries to go about it, it's funny, actually.
Well, let me ask you, Rev. What do you mean by you say you agree with him 100%? Are you talking about on his like theological beliefs or some of the philosophical ones?
That's exactly. I think you would disagree with that because I've heard you at times get onto Didi about basically the precept.
Yeah. What are you saying that you agree with him upon? What aspect? Let me ask.
I agree with him that the only reason that we can have logic is because of the Christian God. But the fact of the matter is that that's not an argument; it's an assertion. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you can say that about anything. Right?
Yeah, you're basically saying you're under the mindset that if God is the creator of everything, He obviously created the things that we go by, logic.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and I would make a similar claim, but I mean, you could also claim that the only way we have logic is because of the universe.
Yeah, it's not really informative, but it's not inconsistent with Reb's worldview, right? I mean, but the way Darwin's runs it, his position is that even though God created everything, if you don't believe in God, you cannot have a coherent worldview. You can't even have a coherent position.
Exactly. He's trying to push his belief. Like I do believe what he believes, okay, but he's trying to push his belief in that on unbelievers, and it doesn't work. It's not even a fucking argument.
I mean, exactly. One of his tactics he uses is that he tends to badger the witness via the Socratic method, and he'll never.
That's right, Wolf. Yep.
He just badgers them endlessly until.
But to what end?
Trying to have them justify their basic.
It doesn't need to It doesn't even need to have a specific end. It's just to make him look intellectually superior.
Well, I think that there is. Well, that might be the end.
Words of wisdom, Hannah. Yep.
That might be the end, Hannah.
Well,
just
I
to
guess
make himself look superior, right?
Right.
But the difference is Jay, you agree with him on that you can only have logic because the Christian God exists.
I do. Yeah.
Right.
But that's a faith position. He's trying to push that view on you guys, and I don't agree with that.
But you also believe that I can only have logic because the Christian God exists too, right? Right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
right?
But yes.
But you also acknowledge then that's why I can be logical and rational, whether or not I believe in the Christian God or not, right?
Yeah, continue.
Right, and so I think that makes sense. But what DD is trying to do is saying that because you don't believe in that Christian God, then you can't be logical and rational.
Right.
Yeah,
and exactly.
Only because I don't believe what you believe.
But he also has a contradiction there, JJ. Because in the next very breath, he'll say, "Well, according to Romans, everybody knows there's a God, and you're just expressing your truth and unrighteousness. So therefore, he can't have it both ways, right?"
Well, he does have it both ways because at some point in the argument he will say that no, you can't be logical, and then later on say, of course you can be logical because God makes things possible. So he does do it both ways.
Yeah, well, that's what I know he tries to do. I'm saying it doesn't work when you try to do it that way. And he also says, like for example, who's an atheist in here? Who's like Wolf? Wolf's the most prevalent atheist we've got in here. So he'll say
Wolf's a Satanist.
Well, he'll say Wolf is a liar just because he's lying about his belief in God because according to Romans, he knows God exists. Therefore, by the Christian way of looking at it, anybody who says God doesn't exist is automatically a liar. Well, okay, you know what? First of all, I don't take Romans like that at all, and I think most people don't take Romans like that. I think most people know by now that Paul's only talking about the Church of Corinth. But let's say you have it ubiquitously. Let's say you do stand it upon all human beings, even if that's the case. To equivocate the word liar there is nothing short of equivocation and a hindrance to a communication, okay? Because Wolf is not lying to himself because he really believes this. And to say that, you can say, well, according to the Bible, Wolf is not an atheist, but Wolf considers him an atheist. So let's go from the fact that he says he's an atheist, he's not lying about that. To call him a liar on that does nothing, absolutely nothing to the conversation. Absolutely fucking nothing. Hey, look at Joseph. You're looking all dapper today, dude. All
right, can I tell you guys something about EFDD?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I saw him when he first came into the G+ community. It was in Nadia's Hangout. All right. I PM'd him in Nadia's Hangout. I said, I'm a fan of you. I like what you're doing here. I said, are you a Calvinist? He said, I'm a hyper-Calvinist. Yeah. Now he denies that he is a Calvinist.
He said he was a hyper-Calvinist at one time?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So he would be into like really predestination, double predestination even. People are chosen to be theonomy. So, wow. I did not realize that.
Yeah. That what I'm saying is, Steve, that this guy sort of dances around his positions, and I don't want to badmouth the guy, but you know, I think he just wants to win arguments.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I didn't know he really promoted theonomy, that he really wants to bring back the Levitical code and all that, and
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard him discuss that, so I'll take your word for that, obviously. At some point, obviously, you've heard him discuss that. I can't say that I have. It doesn't surprise me, however. There are other people out there that have suggested the same thing. Hovind is one of those people, obviously. But wow. That's scary. That's scary. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think he has changed positions to suit his narratives because he got backed in a corner so much by the Power Power Rangers. That
does he still think he can think about thinking? Wait, what?
What? Does he have to think about thinking?
Can he
still think he has to think his thoughts before you think them?
Yes, that's it.
Does he still have to think his thoughts before he thinks them? There's an infinite regress in there somewhere. Is that like the KK problem? You have to know something to know something to know it to know it to know it.
I watched that earlier, Tom. That's why.
Well, if you guys get a chance, watch that little blurb. It's about 2 hours in on Antonio's Hangout. The 5 things he doesn't. The 5 worst atheist arguments or something. Which, by the way, I don't even know what those 5 things were. If anybody knows what they are, I didn't glean from what he was talking about what they actually were. So.
Yeah, I just saw that little post. No, I want to watch it too.
Yeah, if anybody knows what Antonio's 5 worst atheist arguments are, let me know, because I didn't really understand what he was saying. But the part that I did watch the most was when Hogtie went in there, and you guys have got to watch that. Hogtie was just treated like complete dog shit. And you got Veckel and the rest of them cheering on DD and G-Man.
Oh, Veckel was there.
Yeah, well, he wasn't there for a long. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't remember how long he was in there for. I thought I saw him. There's definitely G-Man. G-Man was definitely, but G-Man, just kind of wants ratings. So.
Veckel the heckle.
Yeah. Well, I started with the term. Remember what we came up with the other day? Vectheism. Anybody remember what Vectheism was?
No.
It's just your opinion.
Oh yeah, I did see that actually.
Your opinion. And the thing about Vectheism is that I'm atheistic toward most of the gods that I've seen, presented in the community. I cannot accept, like Darwin's deities, God or younger creationist God. And nothing.
Oh my God, Steve, listen to me. If DD's God was God, I would be an atheist.
Yeah, I mean, well, you say you agree with him on a lot of stuff, though. You said you agree.
I do agree with him theologically, but the way he presents himself just makes me want to shoot myself in the head. It's God.
But if you agree with him theologically, then wouldn't you have the same God he types visions?
I think that's
absolutely. What I'm saying is the way that he presents himself is so bad. Like, yeah.
I think I sort of get what Steve was saying. I mean, like a lot of people, a lot of theists tend to model their God after their own values and stuff like that, and based on how they present it, that's usually just an extension of their own like psyche and stuff like that. So when Darwin sort of like presents his views, I mean, it's sort of reflective of how he acts, and he's kind of an asshole.
I agree. Well, let me ask
it's Socratic method done in the worst possible way.
It's a bastardization of the Socratic method.
Exactly, Steve. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Rev. I have a question for you. If I said I believe in a deity, and I got a background. Hannah. If I say I believe in a deity that if I die and I go to heaven and I can look down and I can see the people that weren't saved, and including my family and my children burning in hell, and all the babies that weren't saved because Calvinism or hyper Calvinism, and then so if I sat there and I'm applauding there in hell, but I tell you, well, I'm not applauding that they're in hell because I'm happy to see them in there. I'm applauding because justice has been done. Do you think that really makes a difference of why you're applauding? You're sitting there applauding that people are in hell, and you're just saying, well, I'm not applauding because, I'm happy to see them down there, including my children. I'm applauding because, justice has been done and my child is burning in hell for eternity. Do you see a problem with that, or do you kind of agree with that?
That's not God.
And that's what and that's why I said I can't believe in Veckel's God, because that's what Veckel said. That's what I just told you is what Veckel said. He said, well, if I'm applauding up there, I'm not applauding because they're burning in hell. I'm applauding that my children are being justice to.
Well, Steve, what he's doing, Steve, is he's echoing Calvinist preachers when he says that.
That's not my type of God.
I don't understand most of what Beckel says. Doesn't.
Yeah, but that's just your opinion.
That's Beckel.
It is my opinion that I do not understand most of what Beckel is talking about.
And besides, you ain't paying my rent.
You don't pay my internet.
No.
I'm tending toward more universalism for some reason. And maybe I think that because I like to believe that God exists, he's a really loving God, and, he's going to do whatever it takes to get people back with him. And so I like the concept. Maybe it's just the concept of universalism I like more than anything else. But I certainly
Pantheism is calling you, Steve.
Pantheism is calling me?
Pantheism is calling
I know very little about pantheism, to be honest with you.
Well, you should Google it. And then you'll say, oh, of course.
I should have been this way all along.
So Steve, Google calling the universe God instead. Google that.
Well,
Steve, you are a pantheist already. That's really the point. Is that you already are.
Vague. If you mean pantheist as in like the philosopher, God of the philosophers and Spinoza's God, I can dig that, right?
Or what about the Carl Sagan? Because he was sort of into that shit.
He was a pantheist?
Steve, you are already a pantheist. You just don't know it.
Char's like, try me-theism. It's only the theism that makes sense to me.
I mean, he sort of said we are a way the cosmos knows itself or whatever.
We are the way the universe knows itself.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Panpsychism. Panpsychism.
Not panpsychism.
I don't get into panpsychism. I don't
either. It's completely different.
Yeah, that's completely different.
I mean, Sagan,
Steve, stop being silly. I don't want to be silly about this. Is actually. Go ahead. What?
So Sagan did smoke a lot of weed, so he was into that spiritual side of the fence. Seeing like the interconnectedness.
His weed he smoked pretty light. I mean, he would if he had to smoke a modern doobie, he'd be like, "Whoa, dude."
I mean, like he had a pretty deep thought about it, but yeah, I mean, I used to adhere to pantheism, but it's sort of an irrelevant thing now. I think Satanism makes more sense.
Well, you use Satanism as just obviously a tool to kind of mock Christianity, because I know you don't believe in an actual Satan.
Listen. I firmly believe that Satan grants me knowledge. He grounds the laws of logic, and the uniformity of nature. And but basically, if you reject that, you have no basis for logic.
Well, you can say that about my left shoe too, right? My left shoe has done the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just basically insert random noun here. And I don't think a lot of the preceptors understand that. Did Joe leave, or is he still here?
He left.
Did he? Oh, Viva, can you send me a link? Send me a never mind. People ask me for the link, and I tell them all you gotta do is send me something. I have a hard time finding some people on Google Hangouts.
Steve, did you get Hunter Bailey? Yeah, I did. Okay, sorry, I was about to fetch him the link, but I'm like having a hard time coordinating.
He's still drunk.
I'm here.
And you know, and what Rev said, Rev said, who's here? All right. Rev said there's no eternal hell, the lake of fire is tossed into oblivion at the end. So, I mean, I could understand a nihilism better than I can an eternal torment. So if Rev is trying to say, you know, he's a nihilist, or what do they call it? Nihilism.
Yeah, annihilationism. Yeah.
Annihilationism. I can get behind that more than I could some other things. I didn't know you were an annihilationist.
Yeah, that's because it's biblically accurate, Steve.
Yeah, and I kind of read more of that into it than I did with the Bible more. And that's one of the things I actually agreed with Nephilim on annihilationism. That's how I kind of read it too.
So do I, probably.
I don't know why. I don't know. A lot of people think that's kind of weird. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of fall in that category.
Steve, is it like storming at your place right now?
No, but I hear a lot of rain.
I know somebody is like.
You guys can hear that? That's me.
Oh my God! It sounds like a storm. Yeah.
I mean, I like listening to it, so I left the window open. I didn't think you guys can hear it. I'm on the other side of the room.
Yeah, that's super loud. I thought like somebody was outside standing in the rain.
No. Is it better now, or?
I wonder if that's the big storm system that came through here yesterday.
No, it probably is. It's going to be going into the morning as well. I just like listening to the rain, so I thought I'd leave the window open.
You had a good rain. Tower Torre, he flaked out. He changed his mind. Whatever.
Fuck up.
I'm here. Yeah, whatever. I'll change the tower or the title later. I'm just going to. Actually, I just remove it. I'll just put. I'm so over contrarians. Because I really am over contrarians, man. I don't really. I mean, I like talking to Matt about certain things, but 90% of the shit, I just don't want to waste my time talking to Matt Bell about. Because I just don't know whether he's being serious or is this worth talking about.
Yeah, that was sort of a waste of fucking time there. Like just pedantic bullshit and just overanalyzation of word. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Well, he's all right to talk about, but it seems like part of his argument is that natural selection or evolution doesn't take into account the possibility of supernatural selection, right?
So what?
Well, I mean, what the hell? But what the hell is that, though?
Well,
it's selection nonetheless, right? But how can you tell whether or not it is natural selection or supernatural
even if
selection?
It was supernatural selection, it's still natural selection because it's not artificial. That's what's lost upon him.
Well, yeah, right. And you were saying that earlier, and that's what I would say too. Is that I mean I don't even know what supernatural selection would be.
I mean, to us, as we're looking at it, we're seeing nature doing it without any kind of help from us, right? Nature doesn't need a human intervention to select.
And another way he would put it then is unguided selection, right? As opposed to what he believes, wants to believe in, is guided selection. Well, what the hell does that mean, even? Unguided? Steve, how?
Steve, well, I would assume it means that human beings have to be at some point. Oh, sorry, Rev, I'm lagging. Go ahead.
But
no, I'm sorry, Hannah. I'm sorry, Hannah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rev. No, Rev. Go ahead, Rev, first. Go ahead.
Steve, let me ask you this. On the topic of abiogenesis, what do you think happened there?
Can I get back to you in like 2 minutes on that so we can get the other questions in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
That might take a while. All right. Hannah, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just simply going to take a guess because Matt was actually telling me what he wanted to propose, which is essentially supernatural in the sense that humans have to be the result of evolution. It has to have come about. Well, the evolution... Right. Well, that's what he's posing, essentially, is that in this case, humans must have evolved, must be at some point in the evolutionary line. Mm-hmm. In the natural evolutionary line, humans do not necessarily have to come about. So that's.
What does that even mean, though?
So basically, it could have been very possible that humans did not evolve to be as we are now. But what he's saying is there's a distinction between how humans are now, because it's done with intent, and what natural evolution or natural, selection says, which is well, it's just by chance, but another chance could have been that we could not have been here.
Well, but that's the point, is that there is no other chance.
But
right,
I don't
obviously, obviously it was necessary.
Right, but it's essentially it's the difference between rolling a dice and getting humans, and the only option is getting humans.
Torre has joined us. Cool. I'll get.
Oh my goodness.
Let me finish with that. Yeah, and here's the thing again when they don't understand about stoichiometrics. So if you have a random event, right, and it's stochastic, is
that me?
Stochastic, sorry. No, that's Tower giving feedback. If you have a stochastic event, like throwing the dice, right? To us, it's random, right? All of Vegas is built upon randomness. But to a deity that knows every vector, that knows every force upon those dice, as soon as it leaves the hands, the deity would know where it is. It's done, right? It's already been determined in that point. Okay? So we are looking at things from a random point of view from our perspective when it comes to that. Now, you can make the argument all the way down the line, about determinism. But when we're talking about natural selection and the human evolution, you could even make the argument that everything has been determined because of a deity was knowing what was going on and kind of guided that process. Because a very intelligent being probably could do something like that, hypothetically, I would say for the sake of argument. But it's not required. I mean, we would still be here either way, right? Our existence is not contingent upon a deity doing it, but it doesn't negate the possibility to a naturalistic perspective.
I wasn't watching the hangout that you guys had in MK's channel, so I'm only taking a guess as to what the distinction he's making is. But in that case, essentially, he's drawing a distinction between intent and like a necessity versus chance and what could have hypothetically taken the place of human beings. It could have been, hyper intelligent reptiles or hyper intelligent koalas or
possibly. But anyway,
Steve, would you say that evolution theory is dependent on some sort of abiogenesis hypothesis?
No.
Tower, I only muted you because you were having feedback. I wasn't muting you out of maliciousness.
Can I talk to Steve here, please?
Oh, sorry.
So expand on that, Steve. Yeah, go ahead.
Evolution. The theory of evolution is a theory that's contingent only upon the fact that things have genes and things reproduce. Okay, that's where the theory begins. Prior to where we had genes, evolution doesn't care how life came about. It could have been God, it could have been planted by aliens, it could have been spontaneous generation, it could have been abiogenesis, panspermia, or a myriad of other things. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter prior to the existence of genes. So it's not contingent upon that by any means. God could have said, poof, here's the first cell, now evolution's taken over, right? But
right.
That's all. So the theory of evolution is constrained between modern times, right now, back to the very first cell with, replication and genes. Prior to that, it's a completely different ballgame.
Right. Is it more logical to say that there had to be some sort of prime mover to get all of this stuff started?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, about it. I said myriad. It is myriad, I know, but whatever. They're correcting my pronunciations. Myriad. You like that better for your theology?
You'd have to define this prime mover that you're hypothesizing.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by when you say prime mover? Usually, prime mover is meant to mean a entity that has no other cause, right? An uncaused cause, right? So the initial thing that got things going, there was nothing prior to that. The foundation of everything.
Because it seems that all you need is it with regard to life or evolution. This mover, this prime.
The fucking data that science collects means nothing. It's all about fucking philosophy. Philosophy is the whole fucking world.
Tower, that's down corner. That's a down corner soundboard. Tower, come on, just please speak to us. Speak to us in your actual voice.
Yeah, if you're gonna be in here, you need an actual mic to speak, or it doesn't do any good. So let me get this correct with Tower. Tower, do you want to join in the conversation, or not?
Yeah, speak to us, man. Speak to us in your real voice, not a soundboard or any of that shit. Yeah. In your actual voice.
Go ahead, Tower. If not, I'm making room for somebody else.
Oh my god.
No more.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's...
Viva Hernando, yeah, message me for the link.
So yeah, this prime mover though that you want to say, I mean, I think you're saying that this prime mover has to have some kind of intelligence.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, well, JJ. I didn't say that.
You're right, you didn't. You're right. I'm guessing here. So I don't think that it's necessary either.
And by the way, when I ask people to send me the link, I tell them 5,000 times, send it to me on G+ instant message, not on my YouTube messages. I get enough of those. Hey.
So, I mean, all that's required is the formation of the universe, right? And the laws of physics, the laws that govern.
Right.
Well, that's all it's really necessary.
JJ, let's talk about the singularity. All right. What made something move, right? In the very beginning.
Well, I don't believe in a very beginning, so I don't know.
I mean, when you say very beginning, that you have an arbitrary point there. I mean, prior to the singularity, there might have been another universe.
Okay,
here.
so we're talking about an eternal state.
It could have been.
That's what I hold to.
Right. That's fine. That's fine.
I hold eternal energy.
There's a theory out there that the universe existed, or a universe existed prior to ours. Their entropy ran backwards. So basically, we're going from a state of order to disorder, chaotic theory, right? That as entropy increases in the universe, it tends to go to entropic decay or heat death. Well, there's a theory out there that prior to that, the universe was the opposite.
Right, but what does mainstream science say about the beginning of the universe? There was a Big Bang, right? There was some sort of push to make all this happen, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the Big Bang is a little bit more than that. The Big Bang isn't really the initial. The Big Bang is the initial rapid inflation period. The Big Bang is not the creation of the universe. The universe existed prior to the Big Bang, at least in some state. T0 or the singularity.
Right.
The Big Bang doesn't really speak to
origin.
What the bang was.
Yeah, right. I mean, it just talks about
or
like
the push.
It just talks about the rapid expansion of the of space, time, and energy, and all that stuff. Like what happened before the evolution of the universe, whether or not it was like at a quantum state or something like that, or some kind of like sprung in from a multiverse or something like that. We just don't know. I mean, it's sort of like the laws of thermodynamics. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It just changes form. So we just don't know what form this universe had before like t = 0.
Whose ruling is flood, by the way?
No idea.
I'm moving it from group.
Might be a sock account.
I don't know, but when somebody pops in and pops out, they're going to be removed.
Well, where'd they get the link?
It just seems logical to me.
That's a good question. I don't have the link out there.
It just seems logical to me that
maybe from Tower.
There had to be something, regardless if you call it a Big Bang or an expansion of the singularity. There had to be some sort of outside force that made.
What do you mean? What do you mean outside force?
I don't know, JJ. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't have to have.
See, I don't either, so I don't even use the word or term.
One of the leading theories out there now is that there was what's called quantum instabilities, quantum fluctuations. And what happens is at the very small Planck level, these quantum instabilities can actually expand. And what happened mathematically, they have a conjecture on, is that something expanded very rapidly, and you have what's called virtual particles. That are particles that get created and destroyed so quickly that we don't even know they're there. Okay, but they do exist. We can confirm they do exist.
Right, but Steve, there had to be a spark. There had to be something to make that happen. There had to be some sort of intent to make it happen.
Well, again, we got to ask what you mean by intent.
It's obvious. I know, JJ. I know. I'm just
saying
these
words.
I know. I'm a layman, JJ. So these words that I speak are layman's words. I apologize. Go ahead.
What happens at the quantum level is it's unpredictable, right? Because it's Heisenberg's incentive principle. quantum fluctuations can do weird things at that level. And so, we don't say that there's needed to be some kind of outside event. We also know through the quantum mechanics that you're going to have events without a cause. Spontaneous fission is a good example, or spontaneous decay, or events that have no cause in quantum mechanics, right? That's the current leading theory, is that they have no information in the system prior to the event.
Hey Steve, I actually had a conversation with General about the radiation decay, and he says that when you get down to the basics of it, it does have a cause.
Well, he's wrong.
Oh, I don't know. That's just what he said. I guess.
Disproven.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what he means by that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think General would have said something like that. I mean, what General probably means by that, because I love General, he probably means that the cause, something that's unknown unto God, right? But we're talking in physics. There's no cause, right? That's
well, he was talking physics though, and that's
now the hidden variable model has been disproved. It basically doesn't work, and they went with more of the Copenhagen interpretation and the what they call the oh my goodness, I can't remember the name. Oh well.
What?
Oh well.
I don't remember the name. It's basically the interpretation that information in the system will not exist prior to the event. It's some kind of long Russian name. So
yeah, we're talking about like the cosmological argument, right?
No, we're talking about spontaneous fission and weak nuclear decay.
Right. Well, I remember coming up with that argument like the very first time we ever had a chat or anything, and that's the one that you came up with. That talking about radiation decay. I don't know. I would just have to. I guess just one day we'd have to bring General in here.
Well, I messaged him earlier. He said he's coming in.
Oh, I don't know.
I told him he said he was going to come in. It's like a half hour ago.
Huh. I don't know.
Him again.
Well, we have a full room here, Steve. So thank you for having me. I'm going to take a.
Love when you're here, man.
There's 9 people in here.
God bless you, Steve.
Yeah, you too, man.
Rev. Thank you so much.
I'm an agnostic. God bless you too, man.
Shalom.
See you, Jay. Take it easy.
He's an awesome guy. Just a really nice guy.
Who was that? I never talked to him
Rev
before.
News.
Do what?
His name's Rev News.
Revelation News?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a pretty good big channel. I mean, he's got like 8,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and Shiva is his private channel.
Yeah.
Shiva is his what?
Private channel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, private.
Private channel. Yeah, but that is Revolution News. By the way, Hunter, I do know more people than just you. Okay.
That's debatable.
Let's see the list.
Yeah, let's see the. Well, I mean, I have the Great Debate Community list, but I'm still missing some people. I need to go through it. What it sucks is I don't. If you can't send it to somebody who's already been invited, right? Somebody's already been in, but I don't have a way of actually comparing my circles to actually who's in there. So I mean, it's really poorly done because I want to be able to send it to certain people that maybe the circle's missed for whatever reason.
Yeah, you need intelligent design.
I need intelligent design. Yeah. It's not intelligent designed by any means.
You know, Brandon, that one ID guy, Brandon Pacino or whatever his last name is, thinks you're a bully or some shit.
I'm a bully?
Sorry,
what? Or that skeptics are bullies or some shit.
Who was that?
You know, like the Brandon with the glasses.
Yeah. That's me.
Oh, what? I'm missing out the conversation here. What? Raul thinks I'm a bully?
Yeah. Brandon. Brandon thinks you're a bully.
Oh, Brandon thinks I'm a bully. Oh, Brandon Petruccio.
Petruccio, that's his name.
Bully.
Yeah, he thinks I'm a bully. That's just funny. Brandon is a lost cause. He started off, having pretty decent conversations. We enjoyed having Brandon around. But then he got suckered into the Clown Car Posse, and now he's just basically a taint licker like the rest of them. I see no difference.
I told you it's the woo woo. I mean, no, I just that's why I view ID nothing more than woo woo. I mean, it's sort of like a less complex version of whatever the fuck Deepak Chopra does.
Oh sure.
With science,
well,
faster.
Oh my God!
Give an example of the road that he abided by. Okay, Wolf. Do you remember in Santa Cruz? There's a place that started there called Mystery Spot. Remember that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been other places called the Mystery Spot subsequently, but the Mystery Spot was a place where basically water ran uphill, and you go into this room, and because of the whether it's isomorphic or antiomorphic or whatever the hell it is, you look taller on one side, and then you move to the other smaller side. It's all optical illusions and all this other stuff, right? And he actually, that the Mystery Spot was mysterious. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of weird things that go on there. He's like, well, when they first built it, machines stopped working unexpectedly, and animals wouldn't come to the area. And I'm like, really? Really? And when you look into it, all these stories were basically things that they came up with to try to get the hype around the area, right? And I'm like, why are you so naive to buy into something as absurd as saying it's really a mysterious spot? It's a tourist trap by saying, oh, well, animals ran away from it, and and machinery just stopped working there unexpectedly. I'm like, this is the extent of your critical thinking skills? Seriously?
Yeah, sure. You should just accept it and know it, and then move on, and not make an attraction out of it.
Well, I mean, like I said, maybe everything has a kernel of truth, right? There might have been some machine that didn't work, or that some animal didn't run away. But I mean, they take these things and they run with it because it's a tourist trap. And he was like saying that these were actual mysteries.
These were
like some kind of things that are unexplained.
You can go there and ask questions and research and learn, and copy good patterns for machines or something, but. Yeah,
they're not legit stories.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of lost respect for them after that, and then occasionally he'll admit that somebody else is wrong, like he'll admit when Darwin's is wrong or something like that. But for the most part, he doesn't want to accept that idea is bullshit, and the fact that we're coming down on him, pointing out all the reasons why idea is bullshit, he thinks we're being bullies because of that. He thinks we're being closed-minded. And no, it's that we are going to treat ID like I would anything else, especially like what I would with young creationism. ID to me is complete, utter fucking nonsense.
Who thinks you're being bullies?
Brandon Petruccio.
Oh.
But I think he's lost a lot of respect over the last 5 or 6 months because of the company he was keeping. Although he's kept a very low profile recently. He hasn't even been around.
I went to his room last time, but Hexapod was in there, and Hexapod... He knows how to dominate a conversation, so I can't really...
Well, he can obliterate people, too. Yeah.
I just went back and listened to the discussion with Matt Bell, and it's like, okay, no, never mind. I'm going to be complaining.
You listen to that again?
Yeah, because I want to see where I go wrong. It's
I don't think you went wrong anywhere.
It's so frustrating because I was like going down the right track, and Xbox is like, hold on, Joe, I want to get something clarified. Hold on. And it's like I don't get, if you don't know anything about a subject, why would you insist on talking about it, talking over people about it? If you don't have the background in a topic, if you haven't researched it, any of that, why would you insist on fucking talking about it? I don't get.
You don't think Xbox knew what he was talking about?
The Xbox was just like going, I don't agree with that, and that's it.
I don't know. I think it stems from some respect for Matt, but I really don't get it. I mean, if the dude's argument isn't really coherent or isn't making sense, I mean, what's the point in just repeatedly trying to convince him otherwise? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
But see, Joe noted something that we all kind of noted. Matt will always take like the softball stuff. I mean, he'll throw something out there. All these people will be in there, and he'll avoid having the conversation with Joe, and he'll take some of the easy stuff because he just wants to fuck with people. Now he's not. I mean, I hate to use the word trolling. I have said that Matt trolls, and maybe I'm a little unkind on that. I don't want to say that he's actually trolling because that diminishes from what the actual trolls are. But he is a contrarian, and that's
an ultra contrarian. Where it's annoying. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to run into the trolling category or not, right? I mean,
it seems like he just comes into too much. He just comes in often to just pick fights. It seems.
I think he's Scottish.
Yeah, he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll sit in there and he'll hold like a Darwin's deity. He'll wait for something he can latch onto to sink his teeth into it. Boom, pounce, right?
Yeah, but this time he explained why. I thought it was nice of him.
He doesn't explain it. He basically is one big appeal to authority. His entire argument is, hey, look, here I have this paper that these experts that I don't understand. So there you go. And then he doesn't all. He doesn't have anything else.
But I will say something about Matt. Like his new supernatural selection reminds me of like I talked to him like a year ago, like and he was basically saying, and he was not joking. Like he's got a lot of really fundamentalist beliefs that he wraps around in being a rationalist. He said, and he was not joking, he was dead serious. He believes germ theory, he believes demons cause diseases. It's not just germ theory. He believes like demonic possession is part of diseases. He believes that.
I don't know if he said that specifically.
No,
he said something more to the effect of, how can you prove that it's not demons?
No. I was in Hangouts where he literally said demonic possession is part of diseases. It's not just the naturalistic. So when he was saying his new supernatural selection, that's immediately what popped in my mind. That discussion I had with him like almost a year ago about demons being causes of diseases.
But Hernando, the whole thing about supernatural selection, like he was talking about that shit long before he even moderated his view on evolutionary theory. Like that, like he was doing that long before, like back when, like around the time G-Man became aware of Brett King time. So like 3 or 4 years back. It's not new.
Okay, I thought it was new. It's like I just started hearing him mention it this week, so he must have read something. I must have read something that got him into it again. I don't know. It's the first time hearing it.
So he's Calvinist too?
No.
No.
Oh, Joe, did you hear what Rev said about evolution false?
What?
He said that when EF first came onto G+, Rev engaged in private messages with him, and Rev asked him if he was a...
Oh, somebody sniping?
He was a...
Is somebody... I think somebody's sniping.
What the hell?
Kind of.
Hello.
Leaving. Hello.
Hello, I'm still here. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello? Steve just left. I don't understand. What's
happening? I don't think he left. Somebody sniped.
I have no idea who sniped there.
Oh shit! You serious?
I'm German because I'm German and I talk this way. I don't know. Ja, keine Ahnung.
Oh shit! Okay, so what's going to happen now then?
Let's wait and